Yes, another Wednesday evening on the Mandem Chat. Today we'll be discussing, is YouTube and social media our new source of knowledge and education? Let's debate.
Well, the man them already start before we even get to record. So
Oh,
got you.
Sydney, go on.
Continue from where you did there.
Continue, Sydney.
No, the information is right on the tip of my tongue, because it's you know how Chinese whispers are spread. It's because of everybody has a different understanding. If you look at a story, even an accident, if you see an accident happen on the road, you will see and you have three people witness it. You won't have one version of it. You'll have three different versions of it.
True.
So this is where information will come from, and this is why YouTube videos should not be taken as the truth, as the truth, but a truth.
Yes.
Because there will be some omission someone will make because they're thinking, oh, this is not relevant, so they won't mention it, or they won't bring it up, or because they know that the video is only an hour long, so they'll cut out certain bits and give and present you, because they know that your span is only so long. Yeah.
But an author could have that knowledge in his mind and say, do you know what? I'm not going to write that part down in my book.
Yeah, that's right.
You understand? It's just the same. It's just the same as the person on the YouTube video that's going to edit out a part of it so you don't get certain information. You understand?
That's right.
But it depends. It depends on the type of author. It depends on the type of author. Some authors will leave you a footnote, and say, because this book is not long enough, see also this book written by this other person, so as a reference point.
Right. That's what I was saying earlier.
With the video, you're stuck with what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Unless the producer is has enough fortitude to say, okay, I might not be presenting the whole thing. Look at this other video, which has happened from time to time, and it does happen.
Yes.
You can give a reference.
Yeah, with books, you get your footnotes, and more time you get your reference, which is needed. And even the information that's given in that book needs to be cross-referenced again. Same with the YouTube. You can't just take one video and as it. You have to cross-reference.
Yeah, and what we're seeing from YouTube is called information overload, where you have so much people, so many people coming up with so much information that you don't know which one you can trust and which one you shouldn't, because they all sound really credible.
True.
And when you hear the same thing over and over again,
Sydney.
Yeah.
Come on, Sydney. They're in every topic, whatever. How many books is written on any particular topic? How many different cookery books are made, are written and put together, brother? So whatever the topic is, and there's an author that's writing that book, there's going to be as many authors, as how many videos that you're going to see on the same topic. So how do you know who's credible or not?
Yeah, a lot of the time, especially with the YouTube, things that just fling up there. They just fling up there. They're so quick and easy. Well, look how long, Clarky. How long did it take you to write your book, for example?
I was going to say, as a published author, I would want to sort of contribute a little bit at this stage. Now, all authors have their own perspective. Now, generally, there's about three general perspectives. There's a sort of a conservative perspective. There's a more of a consensual perspective, and there's more of a conflicting perspective. Now, as a Black author, I take the more conflicting view, and from that perspective, I question what I'm told. So I may put something in that I don't agree with, just to expose its inaccuracies, or I might omit something that I think will not support my perspective. So in that sense, all authors are biased.
Yeah, they do that.
I don't know how many of you read my book, but in my book, Stolen Inheritance, I said I make no apology from my perspective.
Mm.
But what I try and do is to show references to other points of view. So if you wanted to, for example, explore that a particular area that I sort of bring up, then you could go and do your own research so that you could form your own perspective. Now, for example, Marcus Garvey had some very conservative views because he believed in capitalism, he believed in the church, and you could say that was linked to his Catholic upbringing. So we're all influenced, and we all have a certain perspective depending on our experiences and our perception of our reality. Now, if you read someone like Shula Smith, who is a Black feminist author, she would have a different view about history than I would, because she would be talking from the female perspective. And in history, just like the way they've excluded many Black people, they've excluded many women.
True.
Yeah.
So most of the history we tend to get in the general consensus is the fake history of what is called the consensus. So if
but then we don't want information given to us that, you know what I mean, is because whether a person's a man or a woman, depending on their gender, that's gonna determine the angle,
perspective.
the perspective.
Yeah, but when you do
what we want, obviously, what the people are supposed to be given is the truth.
No, the truth of many perspectives. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. There is one truth. As Sydney said previously, it depends. All right, I'll give you a simple example. If I'm looking from the head to the tail of an elephant, I might see the trunk. But if I'm looking from the ass to the front, I might see its tail.
All right, can I just interject quickly? It's the same story that you mentioned, the arse and the front. Anyway, the same thing we just said before, Desmond, in a different discussion about the lion and the hunter.
Yeah.
We always hear the story from the hunter's perspective.
Yeah.
But you want to see when the lion pick up pen and start write the thing, you find it's a different story.
Right, because it's a different perspective.
Different perspective, and more time when you go in a situation, there is one person's perspective. So there's 3 people there, 2 people there. There's one person's perspective, which he must say the truth. Then the next man's perspective, and then there's the truth, because the truth is just the truth. We want the truth, but we're not really getting it.
Okay, so how would you define the truth?
No, my point is, it's not necessarily that I can go there and say, yo, that's definitely the truth. I'm just saying that within that whole perspective of 2 other people in the reasoning, one person will come with their perspective, and the other person is coming from their perspective. But even between that now, all right, then a judge might come in and say, we're going to work out the truth. But even then, he still may not know the full truth.
Oh, yeah, but the judge, you see, will not be looking for the truth. What the judge will be looking for is what I'm saying is, it's on the balance. It may be on the balance of probability or be on reasonable doubt.
Right, but when I said the judge, I didn't mean the judge could win.
No, but it's a good example. It's a good example, because you imagine a judge is listening to 2 different perspectives of the same thing. So you have the prosecutor and you have the defense.
All right.
The defense is emphasizing certain things, and the prosecution is emphasizing, and the judge has to decide which of these versions are more likely than not.
Mm-hmm.
So you have what you call the balance of probability. So the lowest level is on the balance of probability. So when you weigh it up, you say, well, on the balance of things, this seems more true than that.
Right, that's fair
enough. There's another higher level, which is beyond reasonable doubt. So if you can convince me that what I'm seeing and hearing is beyond reasonable doubt. So if I said to you, the Pope is Catholic, that's beyond reasonable doubt, isn't it?
Yeah, we can see that. We can look back at
so that's beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
But there could be another person who doesn't declare any religion, and you could say, well, because like when I talk about Marcus Garvey, when he said God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost,
You know
And
where
I
he's coming
know
from.
he's a Catholic man.
Yeah, you know exactly where he's coming from.
Yeah, so he's more likely than not to be Catholic than
Yeah.
say a Rastafari.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah.
All right.
So
Listen. All right.
1 minute, Mark.
But
1 minute now. So when you say what you're saying, Desmond, in that aspect there now, if you're talking about Marcus Garvey, then
Yeah.
when our man said, when he said God the Father, God the Holy, the Holy Spirit, and so forth, yeah, God the Son, then when in the discussion now, the truth will lean to the fact that yes, he is a Catholic. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. When you explore,
When you
and
explore the
come to that.
information that's given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to explore some truth. You have to explore and research and question.
True.
all right.
One minute.
So the topic is then, has YouTube become our new source of knowledge and information, education? So my question is going to be to everybody: how much time do they spend on the internet, whether it's YouTube, social media, or whatever, a day?
You know what's that? I'm gonna go first, right? I'll tell you more time, as little as possible. But due to the group and everything that I'm on there quite a lot now. But in my reality, as little as possible still.
How many hours is that, Skip, man? Come on, man. That sounds like you're on your phone all the time. Are you not?
Yeah, but you said like YouTube and social media. On the phone, talking to people and that is a different something. If we're talking about social media, YouTube, more time. I don't even go on my Facebook too tough. I ain't done that for over 5 years.
You're not on YouTube.
YouTube every now and then. If
How
like
much-
I
how
said,
much
if it
book-
weren't
how
for
much-
if it weren't for the group now, I wouldn't be on it as
Yeah.
much as I. You understand?
How much books are you reading?
Not as much as I used to.
I hope
I
you've
used to
read
be an
mine.
avid.
I hope you guys have read my book.
Not as yet. I think the last book I read was the one that was put up in the book group. The Ruins of an Empire.
Natives.
By Natives by Akala.
Yeah, but you have to start supporting the brethren still. You know what I mean? Bring it right, come in your mouth and you know I eat it.
Me will take it, man. Me will take it. I try and bring nothing come on my mouth, but me will
you
take
have to support the author, them man. Black authors matter.
Of course,
All right,
of course.
Let's go around.
So
I don't want. Hold on a minute.
Warwick.
Right. I'm gonna. Yeah, go on.
Because I was just gonna ask Nduma and Abdul, because everyone has to answer the question, innit?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put my little.
I got my bookshelf in there too. I got a few books.
Right.
Go on.
I'm a book reader. I've always read books. I've got hundreds of books at home. Yeah. I read books. I watch a lot of YouTube as well. Come in handy, innit? So learning things. But one thing I did learn, from like when the pandemic started and the whole madness was going on about the vaccine, what kind of puzzled me and what made me laugh, what I found really interesting, was that amount of people was coming in there bringing views, whether they're pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, whether COVID's real, whether it's not real. But a lot of the man who was like beating down information, I know personally, and I know growing up, they had no interest in science. None. They didn't, no chemistry class. They weren't interested. You couldn't tell. They don't know what the periodic table is. They don't know. They can't tell you this, that, rare. There's, as I said, we've had this discussion with Bean before. Like the only man I know out of my group of man and brethren them who kind of got a scientific mind is Marvin. He's the only one who could say, yeah, I know how this breaks down, that. Because when he was at school, he liked science. But then when the COVID thing come along, people are sending me 1,000,001 video, this, that, telling me this and that. And I'm thinking, but you don't really know anything about science. You've never been interested in science, ever. So what makes you, and they're so adamant that what they're saying is the truth, and it cannot be questioned and it cannot be doubted. And I found that quite disturbing. Do
you think that the knowledge that people's getting off of the YouTube and wherever they get, well, we're talking YouTube, do you think that helps big up their ego?
Yeah. And it's a lot of quick. quick knowledge, Mark. Quick knowledge, because as I said, you were interested in science and that at school. You didn't learn all of these things just overnight. It took a lot of trial and error, a lot of experimentation, reading, this, that. It took, you know what I mean, for Desmond to write his book, it probably took years of research to get all of this together. Bits of, I bet there's thousands of bits of paper all scattered all around. Wow.
No, they're
all kind of things. You understand? You know what I mean? And then I found out now a lot of people, you're all experts. And I'm like, how can you be expert on things when you've never really had an interest? You've never had, you know what I mean? It's like someone coming and lecturing me now, sitting down there lecturing me about sound system. You know what I mean? You've never been in a sound in your life. You never strung up a sound in your life. You never lived the box. You never played in a dance till 11 o'clock in the morning. You won.
But the social media and the YouTube drive is that a man can watch a couple of videos and turn around until they say he's an expert. You know,
and that's enough. And you're supposed to listen and you're supposed to follow it. So
and
that's my take on it.
And that's the guys especially that watch these YouTube clips and don't even do no like further investigation after.
No,
that's right.
To find out how true it is, they just watch the one video, take it as truth, and run with it.
That's right.
Yeah. So Nduma,
that's the problem.
Nduma, then Abdul. Nduma, you there?
Your mic's muted.
All right, go to Abdul.
Yeah, hello. Hello,
it's yeah, Nduma, what's your thoughts? Do you think YouTube, do you watch a lot of YouTube, Nduma? Is that something you do?
Yeah, I during the last year, I tend to, because it's got so much, it's got quite a lot I like there. That's one thing I'd say. You get things like wrestling there, you get you get all sorts of things there.
So you'd rather do that now rather than pick up a book or a newspaper or a magazine.
But I can do both of those usually because I read them. I know I go as far as reading the paper. Definitely read them each morning because I always go and collect the paper. You see, with the place where I'm at. So I walk all the way, collect the paper. But sometimes I haven't been going on YouTube as much as the last month or two. I haven't been perhaps going on YouTube as much as I used to. Just trying to cut down on the mobile data usage, perhaps, you know. It helps, you know.
You must log into the Wi-Fi. All right, Abdul, over to you. What's your take?
I watch a lot of YouTube as well, actually. You know, I mean, YouTube, you know, it's quite easy to get into it, but it's true. And there's a lot of nonsense on there. Like, you know, there's a lot of back and forth with people actually bickering with each other. Like, you don't know what and so on. Like, you know, so I sometimes think when I watch YouTube, I see a lot of I go on black channels. Like, I watch black channels, like, you know, where they discuss black issues and stuff like that, like, you know. And so there's a lot of information where, you know, you have to take with a pinch of salt. Like, you have to try and hear two sides to actually make a balanced view of everything, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. You cross-reference.
That's right. You just can't just listen to one view and just take it as facts or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
So, when last you read a book, Abdul?
When last I read a book, well, I used to read quite avidly. I used to be a very avid reader, but the thing is, I used to tend to buy books, like, you know, but I sometimes when I buy a book, I read and just leave it there. I said to myself, what's the point in buying books? Like, when you could just go and rent from the library or something like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to, you know, once you read it, you just put it away and just forget about it. Like,
do you still use the library, Abdul? Do you use it? Yeah.
Well, probably I'll go in there once a month or whatever. When I'm actually, because I've got a music book, I'm actually a film school book. I'm actually practicing on at the moment. Like, you know, I have to go and renew it every 2 weeks. So when I go in the library to renew, that's when I actually that's when I go into the library, you know, and then I just stay in there for a couple of hours or whatever to read a book or whatever, like, you know.
It's funny that you mentioned the library, you know, because I haven't really gone to the library for years, but I used to like it as a youth. Yeah, I used to like it.
I used to go in there more often before the COVID started, like, you know, after you know, not the COVID, but when the COVID ended, I stopped going in there quite often now.
Did they used to do the mobile library up in Bedford then? But they used to do that here, and I used to love it. They used to stop at the supermarket road.
Oh, right.
We just go and get a couple of books and come back.
I think they used to do it. They used to do it in Bedford as well. I don't know if Desmond knows about it.
Do you think because the information that's on YouTube and YouTube internet, do you think that stopped people from seeking further education and getting
I think so.
qualified and certified
to a certain degree? Yeah, I'd say so.
But I think so. What it is as well, it's not even so much the internet, so much not the problem, because on the internet you can actually read on there. But how many people are actually reading? How many people are reading? They're just watching and listening, and just like, you know what I mean. And that is totally different from actually picking up the article and reading the article. And then like what Skip earlier said about looking in the footnotes and looking at the other things and that, you know what I mean? That what takes a lot of, and that actually Googling the thing and looking, scrolling and searching for the right information. You know what I mean? A lot of people, I reckon even that's gone out the window now. And a lot of people ain't even bothering with that.
As you said that, Mark, when I first started on the internet, our Virgin had it first, and she had it through her work and that. And that's what it was basically them time there. It was mainly a lot of stuff writing. Yeah. And you could go through and it would have footnotes and references and stuff. And that's what it was all about. And it was interesting, still, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't so much them time the YouTube never even had one. But I think the video thing did have one them time. Yeah. You know, but you're right, the book thing is totally different. It's a different experience, it's just different.
You see, the thing with YouTube as well is that it feeds what's called a bias. Yeah, so you get something that's called a confirmation bias, and this is what YouTube works on. So the algorithm has been set so that, you know, if you're looking for example, that the Earth is flat, it will keep feeding you more and more information that the Earth is flat.
Yes.
So you'll find more and more. So you will keep confirming that bias of what, you know. It will keep confirming that bias of whatever information you're looking for, and this is why it's become so easy. No, it's not cookies. It's the algorithm, because you know what it wants to do is keep you entertained and keep you on the platform, because that's how they make their money. So if it shows you that the Earth is flat, you'll be like, no, I'll go on a different platform that will confirm my bias. So you know,
they will give you related
information,
related information as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So what about the psychological effects? Do you feel like it has any psychological effects on
Absolutely.
us?
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely. Because, you know, we're so used to instant information being given to us, as opposed to having information that we'll work hard to get. So, you know, our mind is not used to, we don't have the same attention span as we used to, sifting through books as we do through, you know, through a 10-minute video that will give you, you know, 10 years worth of information in 10 minutes, you know? So, you know, we've lost our attention span in that regard, because we're looking at shorter videos.
But what about just even allowing your brain to rest? And you to, you know, go into yourself, and you know,
have a detox of information, like, you know, whether it's
an overload, isn't it? It's an overload of information with the YouTube and the social media.
Exactly. Just rejuvenate yourself, recharge yourself, cleanse your thought process, like, you know. Because although you might think you're not taking in information, you are subconsciously taking in information, whether you know it or not.
That's why they say not to be on the phone or your tablet or your iPad late at night, because of even the screen and the lighting and everything. But the way, you understand, the way it affects your brain before you want to actually lie down and sleep, it's still, your brain's still ticking and looking for more and on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most people even watching YouTube watch it on their phones, on a laptop, on something like that. So even the effects on your eyes, brother. Yeah, how close we are to these devices, watching YouTube and whatever else. Back in the day, when we was young, if we was standing at the telly that close, our parents come and say, "Yo, move back from the telly. You're
Sit
gonna
back from
end
the
up
telly, you're
wearing,
gonna go blind.
you're gonna end up needing glasses when you're older."
But in the defense, in defense of those are different screens. The screens we have now are different. You know, they're much better on the eyes, but they're less brighter. In their defense, you know.
But they still have that thing there now where you can put it on the night mode. Where you can put it on night mode now, innit? So it's all dark. Rather than all white and bright in your face.
Exactly. And the older screens were cathode ray tubes, which were emitting a lot of radiation, which was what was terrible for the eyes.
You're talking about the TV though, isn't it?
Yeah. That was the only thing we had, wasn't it? It was either that or you went to the movies and watched a projector.
Yeah.
So the cathode ray tubes, the CRT tubes, were really bad for you. You know, in terms of spoiling your eyes, and where the retinas would project, it would project much sooner. That's why you found people wearing glasses to corrective lenses so that it can project further back into their retinas. So but now with the flat screen LED technology and all of that, it's become a lot easier for you to consume any bit of information that you get. But again, it's still not good for you. You know, mentally, it might be better for your eyes, but it's not good for your brain.
No, that's true. B, what do you reckon? Should we watch the clip or should we just continue everywhere?
Try run it and see the volume. If it's not loud, then just shut it off.
Okay.
It's only a quick clip.
Yeah. 1 minute, guys.
Yeah, this is interesting still because as well.
I accidentally went to the gym without my earphones, which if you go to the gym, you know how much of a disaster that can be. I did my entire workout without watching YouTube videos, listening to music, or listening to myself, my future, my relationships, my to-do list.
Is that clear?
I needed to get done.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I'm quitting YouTube. Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? Karma Medic here, and welcome back to another dose. All right, so let's address the elephant in the room. The title of this video is true, but probably not in the way that you're thinking. I'm not quitting making YouTube videos, but I am quitting YouTube consumption. For 30 days, I'm having a YouTube detox. So leaving my earphones at home was a moment of realization for me. I haven't reflected on my life or myself in honestly what feels like years. I've been filling all of the time that I don't already have scheduled for medical school, work, or chilling with friends with just consuming content, any kind of content. My attention span is constantly filmed with music or videos or podcasts, which means that I'm permanently distracted with no space in my mind left to think. I was actually sitting down with a friend on this balcony over here the other week, and I was telling him how excited I was that I was starting to build a team around this YouTube channel and that I would have help and it would free up some of my time every single week so that I could go on to think about new video ideas and film even more videos, crazier videos, that take way more time and effort. And, you know, I was going to be excited with all this free time. He looked at me and he said, yeah, that's great, but you could also use all this free time to just relax and chill out. And that is where it hit me like a fucking train. I realized that the idea of just chilling or just relaxing isn't even on my list of possible things to do. With whatever free time that I have, I just move on to the next thing on my to-do list, or I create some new work for myself so that I can improve the channel even more or do even more in my life. And I think this constant state of just being on the go and getting things done has stopped me from being able to just stop for a second, be in the moment, and reflect on myself and on my life. Something about this needs to change because A, this is not who I want to be. I want to be someone who thinks deeply about what they do and how they feel. And B, continuing to do this for a long time just can't be healthy. Basically, I spend way too much time watching YouTube. You know, whether I'm sitting on the toilet, cooking a meal here in the kitchen, having a shower every single night, walking to and from the train, when I'm on the bus or I'm on the tube, it never stops. I'm always doing something and I'm always distracted. I'm just non-stop consuming content. And between medical school and this YouTube channel, my time is already quite stretched. And then on top of that, during all these little breaks that I have in between, I find myself turning on a podcast or watching another YouTube video. And I know for a fact that I could be spending that time in a much more fulfilling way than just mindlessly watching content. Just ignore the kitchen thing for a second. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I can only do one of these things at a time. I can either be watching a YouTube video or I can be thinking about my life. And usually if I remember that there's something important that I need to do, I'll pause the video that I'm watching and then deal with it. Add it to my to-do list, make a phone call, message someone, whatever it is. So I can be doing those two things at the same time. Now, some of you watching might be thinking that there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing, and it might be the way that you or other people consume content. And that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own way of doing things. But just for me personally, I think I'm trying to become a more reflective person. And I'm trying to actually think about why I do the things that I do and how they make me think, which is something that throughout my whole life I consistently ignored and put out of my head. So this is kind of a huge revelation for me and something that I think I should think about more. Honestly, sometimes I'm just talking to my friends and they're recounting an event, telling me about something that happened, and they're walking me through their line of reasoning of why something happened and how it made them feel and why it made them feel a certain way. And I'll be listening to them, just thinking to myself that I can't relate at all to this process of thinking that you're going through. I've just never thought about events in my life in that way. Things just happen, and if it's good, then it's good, and if it's bad, then it's bad, and I don't really think about it much more after that. So one way that I think I can be a more introspective person, someone who's more in tune with their feelings and their emotions and my own thinking, is by quitting YouTube consumption for 30 days and seeing what I learned from it. I think it's actually going to force me to sit down and think about myself. And it may seem exaggerated or like I'm going from 0 to 100, which would be fair criticism of what I'm doing. But honestly, if you've seen this channel and you've followed me for a while, then you know that's how I am. So I'm going to put my all into being this better version of myself. And so to do all of this and achieve my goals in those situations where I should actually just be thinking and taking a moment to be with myself, I'm gonna do exactly that. No more YouTube videos when I'm cooking, when I'm showering, when I'm walking around my flat, no more. If I want to sit down and watch a specific YouTube video, then I'm still gonna do that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I just don't want to be watching YouTube videos mindlessly whilst doing other activities, not being present in the moment or being present actually watching the video itself. So believe it or not, I have a fairly short attention span. So at first, I'm certain that I'm going to be so bored, I'm going to be itching to reach for my phone and throw on literally anything just to occupy my time and keep myself busy. But the more that I force myself not to do that, then the more I'm going to become comfortable being with my own thoughts, which is the ultimate goal here. Like with anything else, any new habit you build, there's always that kind of awkward phase at the beginning where you try to fit it into your life, which can be difficult. And then, the more and more you do it, the easier it becomes. You just have to push yourself through that really difficult part at the beginning. Every time that I feel that need to reach for my phone, I'm going to try and take that as a reminder to spend that time thinking and being by myself in the moment. At the end of each week, I'll reflect on how I've been feeling from doing this, and I'll take some of my friends' much needed advice, take a little bit of that extra free time. I'm hoping that making this kind of conscious, higher level decision right now will lead to me being more of the person that I want to be in the future. So that is it, guys. That is why I'm quitting YouTube for 30 days. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and like this kind of more open and honest type of video. Do let me know if you've ever thought about doing something like this yourself, or if you're currently doing it. I read all of the comments, so please do feel free to leave me a comment. And I'll do it. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Right. So the man is saying, come up for the thing to find himself.
Yeah. So does any of the man them on there think they could come off YouTube for 30 days right now?
Nah.
Mark's not easy,
No,
though.
me.
Mark,
No,
there's
me.
other out
No.
there, you know.
No. How will I find anything funny to watch? I mean, that's all I do is on YouTube is to escape the drudgery of sitting on the toilet there. I can't count those tiles anymore. One day I forgot my phone, and that was the worst day ever.
I think he's saying that is sorry, 1 minute, brother. It's clear that YouTube has really become our source of education and information. Furthermore, it's become
entertainment.
Yes, I was just about to say that, entertainment as well. It's that, and that the generation below us, that's all they're about. They're all about that Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, you name it. That's what they're about. Social media is everything to them.
You're even behind, bro, because you even forgot about TikTok, bro.
Well, there you go. TikTok, there you go.
In it.
But you know, I don't have a telly.
Just by you saying Snapchat even make you sound old, Skip.
Yeah, there you go, innit? Because I don't really know. I don't really know the level.
In it, MySpace.
MySpace. Yeah, that's where I was. That's where I was. Yeah, but
you know, I don't have a telly, you know, so all I get in terms of entertainment is the radio and my phone or tablet. You know, so you know, or I'd read a book if the furthest thing I'd do is read a book.
But enough man don't have TV neither.
Sydney, don't you think that YouTube is probably worse than not even having a TV now? Because I know you probably don't have a TV for certain reasons.
It allows me to select.
And the corruption and that, but don't you think now that you might as well better off even having a telly, because YouTube is just as bad, probably worse.
It is.
No. I can choose to watch Baby Shark all day. You know, I can choose to, you know, but you having a telly, you know, all you're listening to is BBC News telling you that the world has gone to shit. You know, life is terrible.
That's if
you know,
want it on BBC News. You could put it on. You could put it on the music channel all day, couldn't you? You don't have to
yeah. You put it on the music channel, and all you get is just adverts. You know, adverts. Buy this, buy that. You know, you don't look nice. You don't look tall enough. You know, you're short enough. You know, it's all. You know, they're just trying to sell you something. You know, whereas with the YouTube.
Them news neither. Personally. Go on, sorry.
Go on, Abdul wanted to say something. Go on, Abdul.
No, I was just going to say that, you know, you know, YouTube can give a selection of things to watch anyway. But I mean, I got rid of my television about 2 decades ago. Anyway. I said I don't really watch television like I used to anymore, because it just used to numb my brain, like, you know. Always the same old. I mean, look how long celebrity. I'm a celebrity. I've been going on decades now. You know what I'm saying? It's always the same old.
Norman, what's in the background, brother?
I just know.
Yeah, sorry, Abdul.
No, I'm done.
Norman, you have something to say on the subject quickly before you come back in, Mark. You have to unmute yourself.
Norman just come in that he didn't even know what we're talking about.
No, let me see what I'm going. Norms?
I think for elders, I can't speak for all, but I'll give a bigger percentage to the elder generation, us lot and upwards, and maybe obviously a bit younger than us than us. We're gonna obviously, of course, we're gonna watch stuff on YouTube maybe that is, you know, a bit negative or stuff we shouldn't watch, but we're gonna be a bit more selective with what we tap up on YouTube. With us now, it would more come to how long we're on this, how much of our day are we spending on this. But I think for a lot of the youngers, a bigger portion of the youngers, when they go on there, they're more tuned into the negative. You know, they're a bit more gullible, you know. So that's my views on it still. I think it's worse. It's a worse thing. It's worse for the youngsters than us, but it's too much. But again, is it become our as the topic states, our new source of education information? Because how many of us reading books, and how regular? When last have any of us gone on any courses or done any training? You know what I mean? This is the thing. So it seems to be the new source. Blaps, can you mute your mic, brother? You're sounding a bit funny there. All right, stop making noise now.
muted him still.
Yeah, so it seems to be, or has become.
I mean,
You know,
programs I listen to on YouTube, they say you must do your research instead of actually, you know, they say don't take my word for it, do your research. Make sure they keep running it into you, like, you know, do your research or whatever.
yeah.
You can tell that they keep reminding you to do so, but on television they don't tell you to do research or anything. You just
No. But again, the amount of information that is out there on YouTube in all of the different areas, you know, and how much interest we have in different information in different areas, brother. We can't be doing how much, you know, research are we doing?
Well, that's the
Because
case.
we're only gonna research a portion. Otherwise, we're gonna be blimmin' just constantly on this with a book in our hand. We wouldn't be able to live life, would we?
yes, I know. You don't have to actually do everything. You don't have to avidly, keep doing research after research. You know, just do what you can, like, you know. And just
that's part of the trick with some of those videos when they sit there and tell you, yeah, don't just take my word for it. Do your research. Yeah, we should. You have to cross-reference these things and check that they are true and the reality of what they're saying. But sometimes they're doing it as a Sykes. They don't want you to. They just want you to take their
Some
word.
people, it's already gone into their conscious mind, their
Yeah.
subconscious mind.
Yeah, done into their psyche, bro.
And
Already in there.
With the internet, it's like the Wild West as well, because they think that, like, okay, the internet and now it's gonna save you from this corporate elite media. But a lot of them, you know, I've seen Brethren and Brethren have sent me videos where they're clearly fake. They're clearly fucking fake. You're like, bro, can't you see that's the fake? And you're taking that as gospel, you know. You're ramming it down people's throat, and you can, if you scratch a little bit below the surface, you think, hold on, that's not even a proper video. Someone's just pieced that together.
Yeah.
Took someone's head.
That's right.
And imposed it on a body and this and that and this and that. You know, look at the one, remember, like with the Bob Marley one. The CIA Bob Marley in his toe or whatever. But when you look about it, there was other videos, right, where other people they killed, and it was like the same room. It was like the same room. When they had the bed where Bob Marley was supposed to be lying in, the next man is in the same bed in the same room, and then the next man's in. It's just like. But
like Marvin said, some people are really gullible, isn't it? People are not willing to check. Hold on 1 minute, Abdul. They're not willing to check the information and research it and check it. They're willing, as long as it suits what they want to hear, they want to. Yeah, sorry,
and then especially if it's monetized. All right, so basically, imagine the guy who actually done that Bob Marley video. How much money did he end up making out of this? Did he actually even give a shit about Bob Marley? Did he even really care? He probably don't even like reggae.
Like you used to say, like you always say,
Mark. Story. It's a good story. It's going to rack up millions and millions and millions of views.
Like you say, Mark, clickbait.
Clickbait and pockets line up. My pockets line up now. You know what I mean? I'm like...
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can I say something? If you're not talking about the media as YouTube or whatever, right? Or the streaming lines, what they stream online, right? You see, because of it having the facilitate to be able to do that, there will be a lot of rubbish on there. And like you were saying earlier on about doing homework, it depends on the subjects and the things you're following and the interest you take. There is a lot of rubbish on there because people are using it like that. They don't care. They will put a lot of fake stuff. You've got to figure that out. And also watching certain things is down to the individual. It's what you're conscious with. Do you know what I mean?
And it's like what Sydney said. It's like what gets said. Because if someone says to you, do your research, and you continue to search on YouTube, the algorithms are just going to send you the same kind of, you know, like what Sydney said about flat Earth. If you watch video about flat Earth, and the man's telling you to do your research, you'll end up watching about 10 more videos about flat Earth anyway.
They have got a lot of, what's his name, out there of that. But you have to do it as an independent person, isn't it? and how much you take in and what is true and what is factual. You are actually doing a research. That's what research is. It belongs to you searching in many ways.
But that's the thing again, like Mark was saying, people are, and Marvin was saying that people are gullible. If it
Yeah,
suits
they're
their subject,
gullible, but
no, but
that
if it suits what they want to hear,
YouTube.
if it suits what they want to hear,
people
hold on,
that
one
are
advice.
gullible to nonsense, the people that are gullible to nonsense are the ones that are doing the nonsense.
Yeah, true.
You understand? They're
True.
looking at the fakeness, and if they could do that fakeness,
Yeah.
they're not looking at reality. If you're
Mm.
conscious within yourself and you actually want to know something, or you want to find out the truth, and that
Then you will
will go-
research. That's
Sorry?
the point. You will
Yeah, yeah,
research then, innit? You will type it in rather than
Because
just watch what comes
remember
up
at one time,
through the
right, you
algorithm.
couldn't get some books, but at least now with the network, you're able to find these books and be able
Alright.
to read on them.
All right, as you're talking about books, you'll find some of these books they're getting very pricey, blood, because that kind of information they don't even want you to know.
Yeah, I
Understand? They price
understand
you
that. I
out.
know they're
Can I
using
come in
the
here?
format to make
Yeah,
benefit financially, but at the same time, I'm just saying as an object of usable, whether you went in the library and had to pay in there, whether if they changed the system and you had to pay to go in there and rent a book, it's still accessible better when you have the accessibility that we have. With it being all the nonsense, I can understand. You will get that. Look, they allow people to come in the country, but they'll find a different way because they can't. It's just how it is.
Right, okay. I hear that. Desmond, go ahead.
Right. I suppose it's a little bit different for me because I'm more interested in two kinds of reading, and that is one for information and one for entertainment. So when I want certain types of information, I would find the books that deals with these topics. So for example, I was looking into the Black Jew. So I've got a book here by Ben Yohanan, and it's called We the Black Jews, and he was an Ethiopian Jew. I'm interested in Caribbean and the Panama, so I've come across a book, and it's called The Silver Men. So when I'm reading for information, I actually take notes. So you can see I've got my notepad in there, so I might read a few pages, select certain information I'm looking for, and I do the same with that. Then I put them all together, and then from that, I try and form unbalanced, what do you call it, on the balance of probability truth. And then I'd probably cross-check that. Now, in terms of...
Man ain't doing that, Des. They're not doing
No,
that.
I'm saying...
But that is what scholars do. But that is what scholars
all I'm
do.
saying, can I finish? All I'm saying is, it's what I do. You see, I'm not responsible for what another person does.
Yeah.
If other people want to go out there and get brainwashed into believing all the hype, then that's up to them. I am merely there to find the truth.
That's why I said it's onto the independent consciousness of somebody.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of people out there that deal with
I don't know that because I have no way of testing it. So I can only speak for myself.
Yeah, well,
I don't represent a next man view. So if I'm gonna go out there and say a lot of people doing this, I'd have to go and do the research into it. I'd have to probably do some questionnaire or some interviews and form some opinion, so I could give some percentage. But when I hear people talk about people doing this or black people are like this, I kind of diverge from that because I don't know how you got that information.
Yeah, but you still can be aware of your surroundings.
Let me explain.
Yeah, but you find out, you research it. There are data.
My source of understanding something like that is from the general public, the road, their networking, people I know at a certain age. They do these things because their interests. You see, we as adults, or we as people that take interest, whether it's about our culture, whether it's about our lives, whether it's about what we're going through in society. Do you understand? Those are the interests we take. At the moment, when we was young, take it into consideration, even though I was a different character, because I stood up for certain things as I do now. Some youths are not like that. Some youths are just playful or jokeful. Everything is a joke. Everything is, you know, they will do these kind of stuff, what they put on the network. They won't use the network in a proper way to educate themselves. They'll use it for fun.
Sure.
And that's what I'm trying to express. Majority of stuff that is rubbish and bullshit, even people who are intellectual and put out stuff, they get form of evidence that are true, but they only want it for their site. So they get a lot of viewers. They don't even know half of it. They're just absorbing pieces. You understand?
No one knows the fullness of anything. But what I'm saying is, it's a
I've
personal.
experienced that from watching things.
Yeah, but it's a personal
on.
responsibility. You can't be saying focusing on what other people are doing or not doing. You have to focus on what you're doing.
Yeah, but
you're only responsible. Can I finish the point, man?
Sorry.
You're only responsible for what you do. So when you start talking about what other people are doing, then that is where I tend to diverge from that, because unless you're speaking about your experience.
I'm speaking on the experience as a networker. We were talking the YouTube, the stuff that's on, and from hearing people on here speaking of it, there's a lot of fake and there's a lot of bullshit, but there's also some realities. You see, you can't divide it. It's like you said, like I said earlier on, it's a consciousness of one independent person. If I'm actually thinking on a subject and I want to view certain things on it, even though I see some of it, I would still find that factual, or if this is just propaganda added to it. Because we do it ourselves. We take articles, not knowing the fullness, and then when you find that fullness, it doesn't enter.
All right, okay. Nice one, Norman. Let me ask Seafood Blaps is there and he never said nothing yet. And you made a point today.
I'm talking, but can anyone hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Because I was been trying to talk in between these people. It's like they can't hear me. So, all right, cool. Right, what I'm saying, since the internet's inception, right, information has been coming thick and fast, and it's made the world smaller. We're all finding out a lot more than we knew 10, 15 years before the internet started. We were all like delving in Encyclopedia Britannica, like we did at home. I had that from when I was in single digits. I had Encyclopedia Britannica in my yard. Google before Google started. Anytime we were researching, my dad would say, "What do you do? If you don't know, look in the books then," because he used to have Reader's Digest, and used to be getting like 3 books a day almost delivered to my yard. And so I've got a library of books in my yard right now. I'm in a single flat. I've got a library of books in my yard. I've got enough more in storage. But the thing is, I love books. So when you say no one's reading more, no one's reading, I'm reading. I'm still reading. I've still got loads of books I haven't read that are on my shelves. But when I had
accessible, being that the network's there, is better.
Yeah. Now that you've got the internet, you've got a lot more access to books. So we talk about YouTube, you can listen to audio books. I do that all the time. I get through a book in a day, no problem. And it's much more better because we've got auditory response to all this stuff. When we hear something being spoken, like music being played, we remember the lyrics better because we're hearing it, right? When we're writing down things, we remember it much more, right? So when you're researching, if I'm going to listen to people talk about something factual, I'm going to listen to. Did you cut me off?
No,
okay.
Cool.
I'm going to listen to the person saying, okay, flat Earth exists, and then I'm going to listen to the scientist, and I'm going to decide for myself. With my own reasoning, I'm going to say, well, that one is bullshit, this one is truth. You see what I mean? I'm always going to listen to the opposite. Someone says Jesus don't exist, someone says Jesus does exist. I listen to their information and I decide. But I don't just listen to one person and no, that's it. You know, I don't just listen to my brethren and say, oh, that's it. I always reference. If I don't know, I reference wherever I get it for myself. But I do know.
So
that's a sensible person. That is a sensible person.
Sorry, 1 minute.
That's what you have to be.
All right, 1 minute, Norms there.
Can you say what?
So were you saying if YouTube was used correctly, it would lead you to a book anyway?
No,
Do you believe that
that's
you
not
can
what
get the?
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I love books anyway.
No.
So,
I'm asking that.
yeah, I'll get that. I'll get that.
No,
Well,
I'm
that's not
asking that. I'm asking that because
the thing is, I listen to Sarnetta TV a lot. Does anyone else listen to them?
Yeah,
Sarnetta TV.
Yes.
yeah.
And I listen to Black News 102. Same guy doing it. Sarnetta. I do Al Jazeera. I listen to a lot of reports on right? But I don't just get their word for it. But those people come from a place of debate, and when you look with the facts, you know what I mean.
You're cutting out, bro.
Actually, your mic is bad, bro.
You're cutting out now, brother.
I can do that.
Your pickup is bad.
You sound like on a phone in a bad reception area, man.
It's a 3G phone, bro, and I've done about it, right? If I went on my laptop, probably better, but I can't.
3G, 4G now or 5G.
Going into my thing.
10G, bro. You have to get some 10G.
No wonder we're having that problem.
So Blacks, it's a shame. It's a shame your mic's not working good. So, Sarnetta, for example. So, if you watch something on Sarnetta, one minute, brother, man. 1 minute. If you watch something on Sarnetta TV, whether he's giving information or there's another conscious speaker there, are you just gonna believe what they say, or are you gonna now go and check over what they've said to find out how true and accurate?
No, I'm not going to believe a thing. But if all of them agree to the same fact, then I would probably let that fact go past. But if two people disagree on a fact, then I'll probably research that one. And I've always got my notepad when I'm watching this stuff and noting down stuff I've got to find out about later.
Yeah, that's how you should do still.
I'll be showing my folder that I do research in. There's a lot of subjects I'm researching at the same time, and I still try to get through 10 books a month. So it's not to say, oh, people don't like reading or they can't read or whatever. You can listen to an audio book and get through that in like 6 hours in any book, pretty much any book. So it's no excuse to not research or find out for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, you should be doing 3 things every day. You should be learning or playing or teaching. So there you go. That's what you should be doing.
But let me just say one more thing and then someone else talk. But that's true. We should. But look how much information now is online on YouTube. I'm just gonna go to the kids now. Even the kids, they program them into this because even the homework that they do is off of the internet. You understand? It's me that says to my son, hold on, but how come you never get a book? Why you always got to do it online?
Well, it's a cyber
this is even where the school sending the kids
to go to school in Japan. They don't have no books in Japan. It's pure laptop.
But that's how they're teaching the youth them now, isn't it? To just go on YouTube, find it on the iPad or so forth.
Or go
relook.
They submit their homework by email.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? We are not in 1900 anymore. We're in the cyber generation now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not books no more.
A thing. It's not a new thing. That's why when I saw the subject for the show, I was like, why are you talking about this? This is normal for the last 20 odd years. Yeah, I mean, you got my children were learning on laptops at school, and they're in their 30s now. It's not a new thing.
They're in their 30s.
Yeah, we know it's not new, my brother. we're
My
all
children
come
are
from,
30s, that's
brother.
what
I
I'm
come
saying.
from time. I come from a time before there was internet, brother. There was only BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. So
Me too.
we know that by
I'm
the end
older
of the
than
day,
you,
still a
bro.
topic.
Stop it. The latter you stop them thing
Okay.
like
That doesn't matter.
we come long
It doesn't
before
matter
that.
the age you are now.
Anyway, my
when we
children,
there school,
No,
when we
but
there
that
high school,
it's
yeah.
when they were
it's
in school,
not about.
they
It's
were
not
learning
about.
to use
One minute.
raspberry.
One
It's not
minute.
even
How to
about age. We're
Whoa.
talking about.
They
We're
were
talking
learning how
about YouTube.
to
We're talking about YouTube. We're talking about YouTube. So all of us, I assume, was here. Maybe
Yeah.
apart from Unduma, maybe that was here before YouTube was here. So it doesn't matter the age of a person.
Exactly.
We're just talking
YouTube is
about
like
YouTube
2000.
from YouTube's inception
YouTube 2000.
up to now. So
YouTube was learning in 2004. Well, what I'm saying is my children were in school in the 19, whatever, and they were learning how to program and use how to make their own computers in school.
Funny you
This is
say
a
that because that's what I was gonna say. When we was in school,
Raspberry and all them thing there.
yeah, when I was in school, and Beans as well. That's when BBC Micro came out, and then them computer. Then they were teaching us how to program then, but that's before the internet.
There you go.
That was before the internet,
Yeah.
and I'm older
No,
than 30.
no.
I'm older than
The
30.
internet is 1950s, bro.
Well, let's put it. All right, then
The
let's just
internet
say
is 1950s.
before the internet was made public. Then let's not talk about the military use before we even got into it. Before it was public.
That's
then.
the intranet. That's the intranet.
Yeah, well,
The
whatever it's
internet
called.
is the 50s.
Before it was public to the
It's a
masses.
shift. They live using the internet
Well,
to move between hospitals and government. Research between hospitals and governments and
that's
museums
taken.
and stuff like that.
Again, like
That's
I said,
internet.
before it was from public. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, YouTube teaches a lot, but it's not replacing school.
No, we're not saying YouTube alone. We're talking about YouTube, social media.
Yeah.
Is it the go-to? Is it the
I think
learn a
go-to?
lot.
look at it.
Question.
You can
ahead,
learn a
Des.
lot. You can learn pretty much every single thing you can think of if you go
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Go ahead, Desmond.
Yeah, it's just basically if you look at the history of communication, then YouTube is just another medium, because before Claxton Press in the 15th century, books were not available to the average person. Now, when that became sort of mechanicalized, then they could mass produce. So books are still being mass produced, but less and less people, I think, and this is just my own personal view, hasn't got the time to sit down and read a book, because that guy in the video was saying, people are living at such a fast pace that they're like dogs chasing their tails. People don't even have time now to cook a meal for themselves. Because when I was growing up, there was very few middle of the week takeaway. But now, almost, I would say if there was a straw poll done, you'd find that probably half the population live on fast food. And then that increases obesity and all that. So it's just a matter of recognizing the medium. At the end of the day, YouTube is just a medium, and it's what you want from it. So you take from it what you want, because if you put rubbish in, as they say, you get rubbish out.
That's right.
So it's a medium to access information, and it's up to you what you do with that information.
Yeah, but it's flooded. It's flooded with negative that even maybe beyond a lot of our understanding. It stimulates the mind. These things let off chemicals within your brain, and even without you even knowing, you wonder why you like watching that, why you like seeing that. You understand?
Yeah, the dopamine.
Well, you feel good in it. If you feel good at you do it again.
It's deeper than it's deeper. No, it's deeper than just saying, well, we could do that, and on there is, obviously there is a lot of good information on there, but with the bombardment of negative on there, yeah, and they understand how your mind is stimulated. You understand? So a lot of things will stimulate people's mind, you know, and it's usually it's a lot of negative stuff and a lot of untruth as well, and how it's put together. You understand?
You've got to switch, man. You've got to switch. You've got to switch it off. I mean, you project over as if people are victims. People are active participants. They're choosing to go on these sites. And if you're choosing to go on these sites and watch certain things, it means you have an interest in it. No, I don't watch things like adverts because I know they have an adverse influence on me. So what I'll do, I tend to record programs and then I'll zip through the adverts. Now, if you choose to let others control what you do, they will do it. So once you're aware of it, this is where discipline comes in. That you have to discipline yourself. I used to drink and I find out it's not good for me. I stopped drinking. I used to smoke. I find out it's not good for me. I stopped smoking. I'm not a victim. I'm an active participant.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying to a certain degree because, yeah, with the TV, I watch what I want to watch, innit?
Yeah.
TV, not necessarily what is just there on the TV. But
people watch because they're bored.
The thing is, people.
Hold on, one at a time, please. Go on, Abdul.
I can't hear anyone else.
Abdul, go on.
No, so sometimes I'm bored. That's why they watch programs. He's not like me. Like, you know, when I used to watch programs, it's because I was feeling bored. It's not because I liked the program. It's because it was there and I was watching it. And so that's how the program. People who make these programs think that people watch because they like it, because they're bored. That's why people watch it. It's not because they like it. It's what's rammed down their throats all the time. There's nothing else on or whatever, so they watch it.
You gotta understand. Sorry, mate. You gotta understand that YouTube is monetized. All right, these platforms are pretty much all monetized, so you can make money if you produce content. So people produce more content. There's more content than there's. How many billions of videos are on YouTube? I don't know, but it probably outranks the population of the Earth by about 50 times.
Probably, yeah.
Right? It's probably in the trillion by now, right? So I'm a person who's got information to give, and I've got things to say, get off my chest, blah blah. So I make a video, put it up on YouTube. It's literally minutes. It's nothing. It don't cost me anything, and then I can get paid for that later on. At the same time, I've got in the back of my head, YouTube is forever, internet is forever. So my grandchildren can look at me and get information from me. So if I've got that going on in my head, I am now on a mission to get everything about me on YouTube or on a Facebook or whatever and get me out there, because then I'm eternal. You see what I'm saying?
So you say the internet's forever,
my grandchildren's grandchildren can learn from me. No, the internet is forever. You can't delete anything off the internet. The internet is impossible.
All right. Okay.
Once it's out there, it's out there.
All right, cool. Mark?
So I know people can actually say take down their videos, can't they, from YouTube, can't they?
Yeah, okay, so you put up a video and I download it onto my computer. It's on my computer forever. But once you put it out, you've got to say to yourself, it's out there in the ether now. It's out there, right? Because most of the time, even if you delete it 5 seconds later, you've got people like Trump saying something on Twitter, deleting it 5 seconds later, and someone puts it out on the internet.
Yeah, repost it.
And then he corrected it later on.
I can't understand it because I said I can't understand it because this guy, this NBA player, put up a film about the Jews, like, you know, and the owner told him to take it down. He took it down, but what was the point in taking it down then if it's up there forever anyway? And it's not because he himself had it up there. There was other people who had it on their
people
as well.
Yeah, but they weren't able to take it down because they didn't want to be affiliated to it, isn't it?
It's called buck breaking. It's all about buck breaking. It's to show that certain people can't speak about certain people.
That's right. That's why.
Okay, there was this woman who got killed live on YouTube, right? So she was murdered. The thing was being recorded on a hotel camera or something, and it was in real time, and she got killed. So it was out on the internet. Then the family said, we didn't know it was on the internet until straight after when it was reported. This is what happened to our daughter. And we just asked everyone, all the platforms, to take it down. So they took it down. But believe me, that video is out. They just want it less, the hurt less, you know, so when their children grow up, they don't see the video. You see what I mean? They can't search for the internet and find the video because it's all been taken down. They have to do some deep research to find them videos. So if you're going to think you've put up a video and it's completely deleted from just because you took it down, no, that's the bad thinking.
Yeah, people will still have that.
So you just have to be careful what you put up. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mark.
But even your hard drive on your computer doesn't get deleted.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you might
even if you put it in the rubbish and that, it's still full up.
Yeah,
it's still
there. You can still recover it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop recording now, Mark. You there? Well, thanks for popping in, guys. Don't watch nothing. Give thanks for the opinions and the beliefs and that, you know.
Nice.